Today's Real Talk, today'srealtalk.com, 844-STUDIO-4, Justin Kazepis. And now is that time, Q&A. You've got Q's, I've got A's. And excited about the questions we've got today. Thanks again so much to Dawn Polin, CREtaxplanning.com, CRE commercial real estate, taxplanning.com. What an incredible knowledge base that we were able to gain today, thanks to her. So if you're looking for someone to learn more about cost segregation, 179D energy incentives, 45L tax credits, Dawn Polin, CREtaxplanning.com. So gracious for her time. We appreciate that. I got the questions here. Are there any good courses you would recommend to help with learning real estate? Are there any good courses that I would recommend to help you with learning real estate? I don't like to recommend specific courses by third parties that I don't have a business partnership relationship with. Of which we would always disclose that, there are people that we partner with at a business level who pay for advertising based on our show and brokers that are able to tout their knowledge of their particular markets. I'm not hiding the ball on any of that. So I think courses are one of those areas, though, that has a lot of saturation. What I mean by saturation there are a lot of course offerings. There are a lot. And there's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different aspects, many of which are touted on a personal individual's knowledge and experience in a particular sector or a particular market. So what I recommend when I'm looking for a course, because I take courses too, right? I hold a North Carolina broker license. I have for over 10 years. So I have 8 hours of continuing education that I'm required to take each year. I have an attorney's license here in North Carolina. I am licensed by the North Carolina State Bar. So I have continuing legal education that I must take each year. And then I enjoy just learning. So I find courses, being a lifelong student, right? It's maybe not for academia credit, for a sophisticated degree for me to hang on the wall. But I do enjoy learning. So I do try to keep a pulse on what is available from an education perspective in the marketplace. And what I always recommend is start with, if it's going to be real estate, right, because that's what we're talking about, business kind of can be a little bit different, but I'll focus on real estate. You got to focus on your particular market, because I have found in courses I've subscribed to and purchased, and even free courses given my personal identifiable information in order to obtain, the content was so generic that I could have accomplished the same learning lesson with written word and a Google search and probably a 30, 60-second video on YouTube or any other video streaming platform, as compared to paying for or subscribing to a particular course. So I like very specific geographic territory-based courses. And I also like courses that have been vetted by third parties. So for instance, if there's a course that offers continuing education credit for brokers in North Carolina, I like that because that means the Real Estate Commission has reviewed the content of that course and it has met minimum, lowest possible threshold standards. And I'm not saying the commission has low standards. I'm just saying there is a baseline, right? There is a baseline, at least when a third party agency, government entity, regulator who has reviewed the content to ensure that it meets at least minimum standards. And so I like that. What I'm finding more and more, though, in courses, again, is a lack of specificity to a geographic territory, particularly North Carolina, because that's the market we are in. And that can be frustrating, because if you've got more of a national style course, a lot of it may generically be applicable, but if you are already an intermediate, or let's call it even advanced level, and you want specific knowledge, that, in my opinion, is where most courses fall short. And so if you're at that intermediate or advanced level, I can't stress to you enough the importance of connecting with people. And the likelihood is, if you're an intermediate or advanced level person, and it's not, I'm not talking about you consider yourself to be, if you've got knowledge and you based on your experience in the game. I know people who have been in a couple of years that I would consider advanced as compared to people who have been in for decades who I would not consider even being beyond a novice. So I don't think necessarily length of time is always the identifier. But finding people to connect with that may not have the exact knowledge, right, that you're looking for, but will encourage you to continue seeking that knowledge, I think is very, very important. So are there any good courses you would recommend? I'd say find the one that is specific. That's the best course I recommend, a specific topic of content. Generic content is good as you're a novice, but when you want to reach higher levels, you need specific content. So thank you, George, out of Wilkesboro, for that question. We appreciate that.